Lily was the epitome of charm and charisma. Every Friday night, she lit up the screen as a popular VTuber, her bubbly personality captivating thousands. Fans adored her witty banter and playful interactions, and her room, filled with colorful plushies and neon lights, felt like a safe haven. But beneath her sweet facade lay a dark secret. As her fan base grew, so did the excitement surrounding a special meetup she announced for her most dedicated followers. "I can't wait to meet you all, just you and me," she exclaimed, igniting a frenzy in the chat. One comment stood out amidst the cheers. "I'm coming, Lily." Luca, a shy but perceptive fan, was thrilled. He watched Lily's streams religiously, but he couldn't shake a creeping sense of dread as he noticed a troubling pattern among the other fans. Those who attended her meetups began to vanish, their social media accounts eerily quiet. Determined to uncover the truth, Tom delved into her past, connecting the dots and growing increasingly anxious. The day of the meetup arrived, and Luca nervously entered a cozy cafe filled with eager fans. The atmosphere buzzed with excitement, but unease flickered in the air. As Lily arrived, her beauty took his breath away, and she greeted each fan with warmth. But her eyes scanned the room with an unsettling intensity, locking onto Luca with a predatory smile. "You must be Luca. I'm so glad you came," she chirped, her voice like honey. As the night unfolded, Luca felt a sense of foreboding. While others laughed, he was gripped by the realization that something was seriously wrong. He discreetly checked his phone for news articles about missing persons linked to her meetups. Panic surged through him when he confronted her quietly, asking about the other fans. Lily's smile faltered for a fleeting moment before her facade returned, calm and unsettling. "Oh, don't worry about them. They just couldn't handle all the fun we were having." His heart sank as he understood the truth. He was in grave danger, and now her eyes have landed on him, the next victim. Yet Luca decided to play it cool, attempting to gather evidence. He snapped photos, hoping to expose her before it was too late. As the evening progressed, fans began to drift away, lured by Lily's enchanting whispers. Luca's anxiety grew until he could no longer contain himself. He confronted her in a secluded corner of the cafe. "You're a killer, aren't you? You've taken them." Her expression shifted, charm evaporating into something sinister. "You shouldn't have come here, Luca." Her eyes gleamed with a predatory light, sending a chill down his spine. Just then, the lights flickered, chaos erupted, and screams filled the air as fans began to suddenly scream from behind her through a closed door. Luca shuddered to know what went on back there. Instead, he seized the moment by bolting toward the exit, desperate to escape. But Lily's laughter echoed behind him. Bursting into the street, heart racing, he turned back, phone raised, ready to expose her. "I have evidence. I'll make sure everyone knows." But in the shadows, Lily stepped back, her smile twisted and unsettling. "You think you can stop me? I'm a VTuber. I'm everywhere and nowhere at once. I can easily just change personas and no one would know," laughed Lily as she said that, psychotically. With a sudden dash, she vanished, leaving only the chilling echo of her laughter. The night fell silent, and Luca was left standing alone, dread washing over him. Back in her colorful room, Lily returned to her streaming setup, her charm restored. "Welcome back, everyone. It's Victoria. Let's have some fun tonight." She smiled into the camera, addressing her hapless, oblivious viewers with a new facade and countenance. As the fans cheered on the chat, A coy, innocent smile flashed on Victoria's face, her eyes betraying her. Dozens of innocent and unfortunate souls dazzling upon those digital pupils. And no one is ever the wiser. There was a VTuber named Kanna, who had taken the internet by storm. Her streams were unlike anything people had ever seen. Her voice was warm, her energy was magnetic, and her character design was flawless. Kanna had it all. The perfect mix of charm, wit, and mystery that kept her fans hooked for hours. No one had seen her in person. Her real identity was shrouded in secrecy, like most VTubers. But Kanna was different. She never appeared at events, never gave interviews, and never collabed outside of her streams. Despite the mystery, her fan base grew rapidly. There was something hypnotic about her, and then came the rumors. It started small. Some fans claimed they could hear strange whispers in her streams, soft voices behind Kanna's usual cheerful tone. A few sleuths began digging through her older content, only to notice inconsistencies. Things she said, glitches in her avatar, dates that didn't match up. It was as if pieces of her past were missing. Then, one night, a group of dedicated fans made a chilling discovery. They unearthed an old news article about a girl named Kanna Is, a rising internet star who had died in a car crash 5 years ago. The description of Kanna Is was eerily similar to Kanna, down to the voice and personality. But how could that be? Kanna Is was dead. The fans tried to brush it off as coincidence, but things started to get weirder. Kanna's streams became more erratic. Her avatar would glitch, sometimes disappearing entirely for seconds at a time, only to return with a hollow, far-away look in her eyes. The whispers in the background became clearer, almost like soft cries or distant conversations. Every time someone mentioned Kanna Is, Kanna would glitch out for longer, as if she knew they were onto her. Then, during one live stream, a fan in the chat finally asked the question everyone was thinking. "Kanna, are you Kanna Is?" There was a long silence. The avatar froze. The background music cut off. The entire stream went still. For a moment, Kanna's voice returned, but it wasn't the bubbly, energetic tone her fans knew. It was softer, weaker, almost afraid. "I didn't want you to find out," she whispered. "I didn't know how long I could stay." The screen flickered, and with a last eerie weep, her avatar vanished. Just like that, the stream ended. Fans flooded her channel and social media with questions, but there was nothing. No response, no explanation. Kanna was gone. A few days later, an obituary resurfaced online. Kanna Is' obituary. Her death had been real. Her fans couldn't believe it, but deep down, they knew the truth. Kanna wasn't a VTuber with a mysterious past. She was Kanna Is' ghost, trying to live the life she never got to finish. But once they got too close, once they uncovered her secret, she had to leave. Kanna's channel remained up, frozen in time. No more streams, no more updates. Just the ghost of a girl who had briefly returned from the dead, only to vanish once her truth was revealed. Mira Knight, a rising star in the world of VTubers, had a gimmick that set her apart. A talking doll named Nyx, always sitting beside her during her streams. The doll, with its glassy eyes and mischievous grin, was an instant hit with her audience. Nyx's witty banter and eerie voice brought a unique charm to her channel. and Mira's followers grew by the thousands, captivated by the duo's dynamic. What her fans didn't know was that Mira Knight wasn't just a character. She was a real witch, one who had found a way to extend her youth and vitality in a way far darker than anyone could imagine. Nyx wasn't just an ordinary puppet. The doll was cursed, a vessel for a malicious entity that needed to feed on human souls to stay dormant. Mira Knight had bound herself to the doll, using its power to maintain her beauty, her popularity, and most importantly, her life. But there was a price. Anyone who gazed into Nyx's eyes, even through the screen, vanished. It was subtle at first. Regular viewers stopped appearing in chat. Their accounts went silent, as if they'd simply lost interest in the streams. Some of her more dedicated fans would reach out, asking about their missing friends. The questions were ignored, buried in the flood of other comments. Yet Mira Knight kept streaming, her audience unknowingly dwindling, vanishing one by one, leaving no trace. Nyx's role in the streams grew. The doll began speaking more often, taking control of the conversations, making unsettling comments about the viewers watching.
"I see you,"
Nyx would whisper, its voice lingering in the ears of those listening late at night. "Don't look away. Don't you want to be part of something eternal?" Mira Knight pretended it was all part of the act, but every time Nyx spoke, a faint glow would flicker in its eyes, a sign that another soul had been devoured. Behind the scenes, Mira was thriving. Her skin glowed, her voice held a youthful energy, and her health was impeccable. She felt invincible. One evening, during a live Q&A session, a particularly curious viewer asked in the chat, "What happens to the people who look into Nyx's eyes? Are the rumors true?" Mira Knight paused. Her smile faltered just for a second before she laughed it off. "Oh, come on, you guys. Nyx is just a doll, right? A spooky little puppet. There's nothing to be afraid of." But her fingers trembled slightly as she adjusted Nyx in her lap. Nyx turned its head on its own and spoke, the voice more sinister than ever before.
"Why don't you come closer and find out?"
The stream lagged for a moment, the screen freezing on Nyx's cold, unblinking eyes. Then the chat flooded with messages. "I can't move," one user typed. "I feel cold," said another. "Help!" someone screamed in all caps. Mira Knight glanced at the viewer count. It was dropping rapidly. One by one, usernames blinked out of existence, swallowed by the doll's curse. And then the chat went silent. The screen flickered again, but Mira didn't notice. Her face was locked in a twisted smile, eyes glowing faintly, the power of the doll coursing through her veins. She reached out and caressed Nyx's head lovingly. "Thank you," she whispered to the cursed entity bound to the doll. The next stream, Mira Knight appeared as radiant as ever, her energy more intoxicating, her smile more alluring. But the chat was emptier than usual. The whispers had spread across forums and private messages, warning newcomers about Nyx. And yet, despite the warnings, some still couldn't resist the pull of Mira Knight's charm. As the stream started, Nyx spoke once more, its voice dripping with malevolence. "Go on. Keep watching." And they did, until they couldn't.